Now let's start with a few more functions or methods available on strings. Pad start. It pads the current string with another string at the beginning. So let's say you might have seen that you might have some two digit numbers, three digit number, four digit numbers, but you want to let's say right align them. Let's say simply by spaces or simply by adding zeros or something. So that you can do by here. So if you say that my width has to be 4, so the first argument is the width, how much width you want. And if you don't pass anything, the second argument, then by default the padding is done with spaces. So it is saying that make 12, which is basically width 2, make this width 4, and pad start, which means that the thing which is missing, the padding, do padding on the start part. So you can see that two spaces are there and then 12, and here 1 2 3, so already 3 length is there. So we want to make it width 4, so we will put one more space before this. So pad start, the padding at the start will be padding at the start, it will be there, and that padding will be with what character, nothing is there, so space character it will be. Okay. Now if you provide particular character, then it will be used. So for example, if you provide the character 0, then it will be padded with 0, or you provide x y z whatever, here you put star, you see, then padded with star. And you can see that if you provide let's say a number something, then or whatever, it is stringified. So 0 is stringified, and 0 string is basically, so we know that the whole answer, final answer, has to be string. So whatever you put here, that will be stringified, and put it at the beginning. Okay, pad start 40, then it is obvious 1 2 3, again here three spaces, three characters are already there, so one just padding of one character is needed, and that will be done with this thing 0, because that is the thing which you have provided in the second argument. Again, hello, I want this 5 length string, I want to make it 10 length string, because I want it to make 10 character wide, and padding has to be done on with star character. So this is like padded with left with star. Okay, same thing, pad end. So that was pad start, this is pad end. Here exactly the same thing. Now we are doing that padding at the right. So if I say simply 4 and nothing else, so actually this is 4 width, but it is not visible because it is not visible. But basically the thing is that spaces are there. If you want it to make it visible, then you can put something, let's say hyphen. Okay, then you can see that it is 4 length wide, and the padding has to be 2 length, because the 1 2 is 2 length, and that padding will be by hyphen. Now here already 3 length, I have to make it 4 length, and the width is 4, but the remaining padding will be at the end, not before. So at the end the padding has to be by hyphen, and so that's like that. And in a similar manner, 1 2 and then 0 0 1 2, and if you pass a number or string whatever, it will be stringified. So 1 2 0 0 1 2 0 0, and here 1 2 3 pad end with 0. Okay, so 1 2 3 0, and again you can do like earlier we did with star. So let's say now we are doing with dot, and we are doing pad end. So this whole thing is 10 length, 5 length is already hello, and remaining 5 length padded will be right side padded, because it is pad end, and that pad character has to be dot. So it is like this. Next, let's see repeat. It is a fairly simple method which simply repeats, which simply concatenates the instances of the same string that many times whatever you provide. So for example, if I write hello repeat 3, it is hello hello hello. Okay, so hello space repeat 2, then this is hello space. So the whole string is hello space, there is a space also at the end, and that thing is the whole string. Now hello repeat 0, and if you repeat 0 times, then it gives you empty string. If you repeat 1 times, then it gives you the same string, and from 2 times it will repeat, that is obvious, right? Now empty string, if you repeat, what will happen? Empty string, you keep it repeating it 10 times, 100 times, again you will get empty string, and that's why empty string repeat anytime is again empty string. That is simple function repeat. Next we see trim. Trim removes white spaces from both ends of a particular string on which we are operating this, and it returns a new string. It does not modify obviously the original string, it returns a new string after the this modification, where we are trimming the white spaces. How it can be useful? So let's say hello world, this big thing is there, then whatever white spaces are there at the end or at the beginning, so at the end and at the beginning both will be trimmed. So if you print, then it is simply, there is no space before it, hello world till here. There is no space after this. But any space, doesn't matter, 2 space, 4 space, whatever space is there in between, that will not be trimmed. That will be as it is, right? The trimming is not only for spaces, it is for any white spaces. So any white spaces, you mean that there are other types of white spaces like tabs or new lines, all those things will be trimmed also apart from spaces. So here we see that some new line character or something is there, or you put some tab character slash t or something, everything will be trimmed. Only hello world till here, from starting from here till here, that is only remaining. Okay, so this is trim. Now, if you do the same thing on multi-line strings, so we know that strings can be multi-line, like let's with template literal. Let's say we provide a multi-line string greet. Then again, if you do greet dot trim, then all these white spaces, all these new line, and then everything will be removed, and only the hello thing is there, right? Remaining. So again, here if hello space world will be there, then only hello space world will be there. In fact, if let's say hello new line world will be there, then hello new line world. It's just that at the complete end and at the complete beginning, things will be trimmed. Rest all will be as it is. Now again, a similar thing is trim start and trim end. Okay, what trim start does is that, yeah, it removes the white spaces, but only from the beginning, not from the end. So hello world, both sides there are white spaces, but I'm doing trim start. So just do trim from at the beginning, right? At the end, whatever is there, just keep it as it is. In fact, it is there, but yeah, it is there. It's not visible because it is spaces. Again, if you see that here, new line and whatever, all these things will be trimmed. Okay, so everything to the left of the first valid character, non-white space character, everything that will be removed from the string. That is trim start. Trim end, same thing, it removes white spaces from the end. Okay, so if I have this thing, let's say hello whole thing and dot trim end and dot str2, then you see that when I concatenate, this is like concatenation, like, so string 1 dot trim end plus string 2, if you console log this thing, then you will get this thing, that right side all the white spaces is gone, and that's why you see that when I concatenate with string 2, then I get complete, like no white space or something, hello world completely. But left side all the spaces are as it is, as it is. If you want to remove that also, then you simply do str1 dot trim only and plus str2, then you will get just hello world string, removed everything from right side, left side also. That is trim end. Now there is something very simple, which is called two lowercase and two uppercase. It is very simple. It takes a string, and if the string is alphabet which has a particular lowercase or uppercase, then it changes everything to lowercase. So here you see that capital H, small e. Now if I apply dot lowercase, then everything will be lowercase. And obviously this exclamation mark has no uppercase lowercase, so it will be as it is. But any character which has lowercase or uppercase, like alphabets, they will be switched to lowercase, and into uppercase there will be, everything will be switched to uppercase. Okay, so whatever earlier was there, that is doesn't matter. Now all the characters will be uppercase. So it is pretty simple. Now we see an important concept, which is string object. So string object, right now what we were seeing, essentially everything we saw that, yeah, we do something like, yeah, we do something like this, like we write hello and we put dot length. But you might be knowing that, yeah, I can't like, it's not always feasible, right? So I can't do something like 10 dot whatever 2 string, you see. So it is giving me error, right? So basically how this thing is working, basically, so what internally happening is like, even if it is a primitive data type, right, what is happening actually is that this thing is automatically converted into a string object, and all these methods are available on that string object, which is not visible directly. But my point is that you can create a new string object with something like this, new string and then argument. This is called constructor function. So this is an object, this is called an object. You put a new keyword, new, new, and you put the name, whatever you want to create. You want to create a number, you want to create a string. So in JavaScript we have a string constructor, and if whatever the thing which you want to create, that you can pass. So this is the this is a string from which I want to create string object. Okay, so just you will understand. So basically, let's see something like this, that let's say const s is equal to, but now this is not a string, this is a string object. Okay, so if you, it was simply hello, right? If it was simply hello, then I printed s and I printed type of s, then what it was, it will print string and it will print like hello, right? That is the type and that is the value. But if you can do something like this, you can do something like this, new string, I want to create a new string, and in the function argument you pass this hello, right? So I'm saying that create a new string object. This s is now an object of and this string object is of is created from this string. So you can see that when I print s and type of s is printed as object, so it is now not a simple string, it is a string object. Okay, and you can see that it is printed like object earlier we saw, right? So similarly now you can see that the string and this is hello, right? So internally it is just a representation, it is not, it will vary based on, like in browser you will see this something else, in Node.js you will see something else, but the point is that it is some object, and you can see clearly the type of is printing object. Now you might see that whatever thing earlier we were doing directly on like string directly dot, everything is available here also. So if you can do something like s dot length, and you can clearly see that, yeah, 5 is there, right? You can everything you can do. So let's say I can do s dot starts with he, and it should give me true. You can see, so all the methods which are available on normal, so actually this is actually happening internally. When you simply do hello dot starts with and he, something like this you do, then actually internally this thing is converted into something like this, some object, and on that object these things are available, and the answer is coming like that, right? But for simplicity, this is called boxing and unboxing of types in JavaScript. But you don't need to understand just terminology for the sake of it. But the point is that just I wanted to give you a flavor that internally how it happens, right? Okay, so now you can see that this is what I mentioned, and there is something called value of. So what if I have created this s, which is an object? I know this is like an object, but not like an object, it is exactly an object. But how do I get my original string back? Like my hello is somewhere inside it, how do I get it? So you can do something like this, you can do many things. You can do value of, it will give you this string, right? There is another way, you can do to string, and it will give you a stringified representation, which is a string itself, and true string always returns a string, so it will give you also hello. I guess you can do something like this also, because s dot, let's say I do this trick that with I am trying to get the substring, I'm trying to get the substring, but starting from index 0. Index 0 will be the beginning. So starting from 0, if I get, then again, this is like the third way you can get the string. Okay. Let's see if there is any another way. I don't think this thing will work, because if I do this now, then this thing is going to get the stringified version of it. So yeah, this will not work. This will yeah. Oh, this is also working. Okay. So I thought that it will give something like this. I thought that it will give something like this, right? But this is cool. This is cool. Why? Because okay. Why this is working? Why this is working? Because basically what happens that in concatenation it is trying to get it is trying to do the stringification of this thing, right? And the stringified version of this thing is calculated by this thing dot to string, and we already saw that dot to string is giving us hello, and that's why this will be hello plus empty string, right? And that's why it will give hello. So now we have got the fourth way also. So now you can understand, just like playing around, but basically it's just that this is an object which internally holds this hello string somewhere. Okay, and you can create any complicated thing here, doesn't matter, like slash n hello world, anything, any string which you can create, you can write it here. Okay, does it take multiple arguments? Let's see. So let's try to give the second argument world. I have not tried it, but let's see. No, it is just taking the first argument, ignoring the all the rest of them, right? Anyways, that's not what you should do. Definitely, it whatever the first argument you are providing, that is what it takes, and it creates a string out of a string object out of it. And again, we already showed you, right, that s dot length, s dot substring, anything, index of substring, anything, all the functions which are available, which we discussed till now, everything is available on this s object also. But you should be aware that if you create something like this, then this is an object, not a string, and you can anyways take out a string by these methods, so that is fine. More importantly, toString is giving us the stringified value that you should remember. Sometimes it is used. Char at. Char at is simply, basically it returns a new string, but that new string is the character at the specified position. So for example, let's say I have hello dot char at 1. Now you see that you start counting 0 1 at one index. What character is there? E, and that's why I give E, right? If I start char at 3, 0 1 2 3, yeah, 3, so it is giving you a heart symbol. But actually I'm just giving you an example for the fun of it. But basically these heart symbols, and these are like they are complicated slightly. They don't take necessarily a single character. So you can see clearly here that this Unicode character is taking two spaces. In fact, if you see here, high space heart symbol length, how many characters are there? So 1 2 1 space 3 1 exclamation mark 4, but the length is coming 6, which means that this heart is taking two spaces, right? Yeah, so this is like, you can just remember, and that's why you should, let's say you put at caret 3, then it gives you heart symbol, but caret 4 you would do, then it does not give you exclamation mark, it gives you like just some empty string. So internally it just ignores that. I will just give caret code at the first code point, so something like that, it internally is happening. And again, so obviously these things will not be using, I'm just saying that any string and caret at particular index, you will get that character. That is as simple as, I'm just explaining that the various edge cases what might happen, okay? And here if some special character or some Unicode character is there, then you do an like take account for these two. So 2 1 3 and then you account it for 2, so 5. Okay, so 5 characters is already gone. Okay, so 2 to 4 1 5 is already gone, and so the exclamation mark position will be 0 1 2, and then 3 4 will be counted for heart, and then 5. And that's why if you do 5, then exclamation mark is coming. And again these are like again another Unicode character, but this is taking just a single character. You can see the 2 plus 1 by 2 is a special character, and if you do that, then you see that it will take length of 3 only. So it is basically taking one character only. That is fine. Yeah, so more complicated characters take two spaces, but this is only taking one space. That is fine. So yeah, you can see here that I do caret 2, so 0 1 2, I do a caret at 2 and I get 1 by 2. So anyways, the main use case is simple this thing, right? Just I'm playing around with other cases, edge cases, but simple use case is caret at a particular position, and I get that character. That's it. Char code at. Now I don't want to get the character, I want to get the code. What is code? Code, you can understand, is that, yeah, it is like a big number. It is called UTF-16, which is called Unicode. It is a generalized representation of all the characters, but in general you can understand that earlier we saw ASCII table, right, where A was 65, capital A was 65, small a was 97, so that's small. In fact, here also the earlier characters, they are matching the UTF-16, UTF-16, there is something called UTF-8 also. But you don't need to go into those standardization things. Basically, you understand that for complicated things, Unicodes or some special symbols or special characters, some like Devanagari Lipi, Hindi, Tamil characters, or let's say emoji or something. Everything has whatever is available in the typing fonts. Everything is available in all these too many characters. But simple things, you can understand that ASCII characters, those simple like 0 to 1, 128, those things will be as it is, what you already know. So you open just ASCII table of anything, and those things will be overlapping with this. So they will give the same code. So you can understand that here, if I get the char code at 1, then I am basically getting char code of the character at 1, 0, 1, E. I am getting the char code of E. What is char code of E? 101. Why? Because we know that small a is 97, and then 98, 99, 100, and 101. So this E is 101 because of that, right? Okay. And you can see that char code at 3. So 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now we are getting into this hard thing. Okay, so 3 and 4, these two spaces are taken by hard thing, and they are just returning some big number. I don't know. Yeah, but let's come back to character 5, which is exclamation mark, which is 33. And again, if you see the ASCII table, there 33 will point to in the table exclamation mark. So that is, it is giving same, right? After 128, some characters are there, like you can see here, 1 by 2, right? This is also taking one space only, one character only, but its char code is 1889. I believe you can find some extended ASCII table where they will give characters till I don't know, characters till one till 256 or something. So maybe those things might be. You can Google it, but just I'm saying that again, here all these are just edge cases. Main use case will be, you have a normal string, you want to find the character code of a particular character at some position, that you will get it, right? So that is char code at for string. Now this is something, string dot from char code. Now this is written slightly differently, right? So basically you don't call this method on some string. You write string dot. These are called static methods. These are directly available on string class itself. So you understand that you write this dot to string or something, or starts with something, right? So you write some string, and on that you call this, right? But this is different. You write string dot char code from. Okay, you write something like this: string dot char code from char code. Yeah. So this from char code, basically it takes a particular code and gives you a string back. So if you give it 65, let's print it, then it will give you capital A, right? And you can provide multiple, so 65, 66, 67, let's say I give. Okay, then it will give me ABC, and you can provide, let's say, the 97, 98 is AP, small AP, right? So you can get a small AP. So you can understand that it is returning me, you have to call it on string dot something like this, and then you like, it is like array. So array, all the methods, so like concat and all those were on array objects you used to call, but you had array dot array. Array dot is array, right? And we saw that it is also like a static, right? So in a similar manner here, string dot, it is there, right? So on string object you have to call it, or string in root class, you can say it something like that. Now from char code, now we saw that it is giving us that thing. So you can write 65, it will give you A, 101, it will give you E, 189, we saw that earlier, its char code came out to be 189. So you reverse do it, 189, and you will get 1 by 2. I don't know why it is written 2 times. Yeah. Okay. So from char code, and again, if you pass 2, 3, whatever things, then there. So this 43 is ASCII code for plus, 50 is ASCII code for 2, 49 is for 1, right? So this 2 plus, like here everything was going to get generated ABC. So similarly here 2 plus and 189 is after 2 plus 1 by 2. So that thing is coming here, right? So it is simple. You have a char code, then you can get that thing. And again, you can do something like that, very, very simple, that I know that let's say I trying to find a char code at and this is a single thing, 0, right? Then I will get its this thing. And again, like That doesn't make sense here, but I'm just showing you that string dot from char code, and you pass that char code here, right? Then you will again get back a. Okay, so this just it's just to show that it is a reverse of that char code at from char code. String dot raw. Okay, so let's see this. This thing is basically used to get raw string from template literals. So we earlier saw that is there a way to create this raw string? So we know that, yeah. So if we have something like let's say hello, hello, and let's say world, right? Then it was printed fine, right? If I do something like slash n, then you see that it is coming in two lines. I don't want that. I want a raw representation of this. How to do that, right? So the way is that, so you see that even if you do something in template literals, then also it will be like coming in two lines, right? Even though you can use multiple lines in template strings, right? But so it is like that. But still this slash n will be also treated as a new line, right? I don't want that. I want a raw representation of that. For that, you have a syntax something like that, that you can write string dot raw and then something like this. So this is the new syntax. Okay, so you can understand that we are not calling this raw function. This internally it is actually like a for calling function also. This is a newer syntax, but you can understand that you simply put string dot raw, and within template tags you write whatever, and this will internally be called by raw. You don't have to put bracket specifically, you understand? So you simply write something like this. String dot raw, and then simply write it like this. Internally, automatically this raw will be internally called. And now if you print, then you can see that, yeah, it is like proper escaped. So you understand that if you don't do this, then what is the way to do it? You have to then escape. You have to escape this thing. So for escaping, you put a slash before this, whatever you want to escape. So slash I want to escape, so it is escaped, and that's why it is like this. But if you don't want that complication, by writing simple thing, you want to still get the raw version, then you can write something like this, and that will also work. Now please don't do like this. Please don't call this function like this, okay? Because it will give you error, right? So you don't need to call this function. You simply need to write it like this. Like write that, and you cannot write like this. You cannot write like this, because that thing in template literals, that thing is a special syntax which is used internally to call this. You have to use this backticks, okay? So this is fine. Okay, and again, like normal template limitators, you can still use dollar and that thing. So if you have some other variable, let's say x, and you want to embed that x, and const x is equal to 99 or whatever, then you can still use that syntax to embed that thing, right? So that everything what template literal works, that will syntax will work here also. Apart from that, these things will be raw. Okay, now let's try this. So let's write a slash nb, right? And let's see what happens. So you can see that this thing is not uh, uh, this thing is not raw, and that's why it, when it is embedded, it is still like this. So for doing that, what you need to do, you need to create this also as raw, and then you need to properly do like this, right? And then it is like complete raw thing is there, right? So sometimes it might be needed for creating raw strings, okay? So that will be all for this video. We need to cover a few more concepts. Apart from that, most of the things in strings is done, but some important concepts like regular expressions or something is needed to be discussed, which we'll discuss in coming videos. Okay, thanks.